Hello, my name is Gregtech82 and welcome back to my Gregtech New Horizons series. I have just been letting everything run kind of as usual and almost at the ultimate battery. And as we can see, we're going to need 8 of these eventually. And the reason I want to do, I want to do everything at once. I mean, I guess I don't really need to, but I kind of wanted to make sure I had everything working, because eventually I do want to try to get the really ultimate one. I think that would be pretty cool. And I'd actually just replace the power substation with just one ultimate battery is kind of what I'm thinking, and we're gonna need 8 ultimate batteries. So I've been by seeing, like, crafting all 8 is kind of what I'm kind of seeing where we're at with the like if we can craft everything all at once kind of thing, and kind of seeing what resources are going to be needed to craft up a ultimate battery. So that's kind of the reason I am doing 8 at once. I mean, I don't really need to, I can just do 1 at a time, but yeah, that's kind of the reasoning for eventually crafting up a really ultimate battery. And I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be doing that very soon, because as we see, it takes a long time to get all the resources needed for it. Just 1 ultimate battery, never mind 8, but yeah, I'm just noticing I have the recipe for that, and I think I was doing some testing, so I accidentally learned the NEI recipe. I think that's why that is open. I think I was curious what tier that actually puts out when I was doing some testing in this world. But anyway. So yeah, like I was saying, I keep kind of like checking and seeing what I can improve and all that sort of stuff. Well, one thing we're gonna need is, we saw that I need a heck of a lot more. I mean, 9 million. That's like a lot. I think I only have about 300,000. So I don't know. Maybe I'll have to do a building just for the computers, which I probably should do anyway, but all right. Indium is going to be an issue. Since I only have the 1 fusion reactor, and that is such a slow recipe, I think it's faster just to replicate it. We need about, what, 11,000, 12,000 indium. And yeah, platinum's going to be kind of like the issue. And right, I need to speed up my epoxid as well. Come on, there it goes. Yeah, this can fit more, but I don't produce enough phenol is the issue. And I mean, I think this is producing phenol, isn't it? No. It's producing, yeah. I need to speed that up, basically. Over here. Yeah, and this is the backup right here. So I gotta worry about that in a relatively soon. I gotta fix that, but I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna do that, because yeah. But anyway, got another replicator. Tucked it in there and have it craft up indium. Unfortunately, I'm really starting to tax my power system here. I did turn off this because this was on a whole other amp of UV as well, so I just oh, because it auto outputs, that's right. God, it does that even if it can't auto output into anything. It will anyway. On there. Is that feel like that seemed to take a while, didn't it? Something... Oh, I wonder if... Did I just... What's going on here? Well, that's... I didn't realize that it was actually backed up. I don't know what I did there. That may be a bit of an issue. Hot. No, I guess that was almost all of them. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know why that was turned off. Maybe when I was... Oh, I bet you it was when I was messing with that in the last episode. Probably screwed that up. And, yeah. And also with the quantum computers, for some reason I thought these were 72 each, but it's actually 72 per rack. I don't know why I was thinking it was 72 and 72 and I needed 2 of them to do 144, but they're actually 144 each. So I actually have 288, which... Oh, see, I don't know. Maybe that's what I was, where I got the... Maybe it's because they're not on. I don't know. But I definitely had the wrong amount. So it's 72 base computation per rack, and I have 4 of them now. So we have 288, which is what we saw in the last episode. So thanks for pointing that out. I screwed that up. All right, but today's episode, I think, if I stop just randomly going on and on, is I have kind of... I'm trying to figure out the assembly line situation, because I have been... This has been causing me kind of like issues constantly, pretty much since we set this whole thing up. So about 300 episodes now, I feel like it's been doing this. And I need to redo all these, and I've just been kind of delaying doing this because it's going to take a long time. But instead of trying to do it all on one assembly line, because this does take a long time, especially with some of those higher tier stuff, I think like some of those circuit boards take like 60 seconds, those bio. I think I'm going to do multiple assembly lines. I mean, now these aren't expensive. I mean, they're still expensive, but it's not difficult for me to craft them up. So I'm thinking, I'm still trying to kind of decide how I want to split them up. I'm almost thinking one assembly line per component would probably be, so like one assembly line for motors, one for pumps. So they're always kind of like split up. And we can craft multiple things at once, so they're not waiting on each other. That's kind of what I am thinking. But obviously, just looking at all the different components, that's 7 right there we would need. And yeah, do like one for that kind of thing. Maybe one for the field generators. I don't know. It's definitely like a bit of a daunting kind of thing to think about, because that is a lot of assembly lines, and that's a lot of Steve's Factory Manager stuff. And the question is, where the heck am I going to put this? Because I actually really like that building. Yeah, it would probably have to be back here, would be my kind of guess. But yeah, I think so. I'm not really crafting up. Let me see. The UEV components, I actually don't know if we're gonna... I don't know if I'm actually gonna be using these at all, to be honest, because I don't really plan on... Nothing that I have planned is gonna use those. Like, I don't plan on building any of the UEV, like, single block machines. So yeah, like these. I don't really plan on building any of these because they require UAV circuits, and those are a nightmare. So I'm thinking I should maybe do, so like, I'm just trying to figure out the size. Is kind of what I'm thinking. So like the motor one would have to be, this would probably be, I don't know actually. Let's try like motor. Let's do motor, yeah. Yeah, see. The UHV one would need to be this 13, 14 long. Not all of them require that, obviously, but yeah, this one only requires 5. But I'm gonna have to, if I do all motors on one, yeah. So I gotta kind of, I have to go through each component. If that's what I'm gonna plan on doing, I have to go through each component, and we still, we got it. Figure out how many I want, and the yeah, this is a pretty big build. So, but it's kind of like for my final build, isn't it? Good thing I came over here. I totally forgot I had that auto outputting. There we go. Pretty sure I have enough. I think I have enough channels over here. I can't remember though. I think I am on a whole separate one. Am I? I don't remember. Where is it? Right here. I think we're good. Maybe not. Maybe sharing something with another one because I knew I was only going to have a couple. No. Alright. Looks like we're good. Alright, so there's the indium and the ruthenium. Ooh, and I also need the gallium. I need to, while I remember, I need to set the gallium up. So I have 26,000, and I think I'm just going to, yeah, thermal centrifuge, we get more, and then pulverize it, and we get even more. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Sure, uranium, there we go. That filled up fast. All right, so that is the gallium we should be good on. All right, so let me kind of think about what we want to do here, and I think we'll start maybe getting some of these set up. Probably not going to get all of them set up, but yeah, I got to figure out how I want to do this. Oh, the other thing is I didn't even think about, what do we do about this? Can this join multiple assembly lines? I have no idea. Although, I guess we don't, I guess we wouldn't need it. If I'm only doing 1, 2, 3, 4, like 4 recipes on it, we don't actually need this. All right, so that makes that a little bit easier. The other thing would be fluids. How am I gonna do this? Do we really want a separate tank on each thing? Wow, this is a really, now that I'm like looking at this, this is a huge, huge change. And yeah, all right, let me cut here and kind of figure out where we're going from here. Let's get you out of the way because I don't need you right there. Maybe building. All right, so yeah, let me cut here and let me, we'll be right back. All right, Dan, I'm back, and I think I got everything right. I made a list here because these things are pretty complicated, and everything is really easy to make except for these similar machine casings, and they require so many circuits, and I'm just doing the crystal circuits, but problem is I'm using so much platinum. I think it was about 5,000 platinum for this assembly line. So I'm kind of like using resources I'm trying to save up, which is a bit annoying, but I don't know, we'll see. I have gone ahead and kind of started over here, and I think this is, I have a feeling this is going to end up as one big massive building. Kind of similar to this, I think, but I think it's going to be even bigger. Depending on how many assembly lines I have, who knows? Maybe I'll end up with 20. I really don't know at this point how many I'm going to have. but I have just kind of, for now, and I will probably end up readjusting this at some point. I think the power will have its own dedicated line, because right now it's kind of going off this one. And I don't know, I'll maybe do a whole separate dedicated line off the main line, not sure yet. And then this is kind of going off of this, and it's all just kind of connected with my existing stuff, and it's probably not going to stay like this forever. This is kind of where I'm thinking we'll do this. And I mean, I've already set these up before. I don't know how much I want to show in this episode, because this is kind of like a bit of a repeat episode, but yeah, I'm just kind of trying to optimize everything. And I was thinking I would just pipe the fluids into the, where am I starting again? I think this is, I was gonna go there, I think. Work, yeah, like there. Yeah, all right, so I think that's where I'll start at 2. Oh man, I can't remember. I have this measured out, and I just don't want to screw that up. So 1, 2. Here, why don't we do these? I had it measured out to 14. Yeah, kind of feeling that was it. All right, so this is, yeah, those are the input buses, so this one needs to go there. Yeah, I was gonna have the fluids, because I was thinking, oh, we're doing the same components. They'll all have like similar fluids, but if we look at the motors, like the LEV is soldering oil and lubricant, and the ZPM is soldering oil and lubricant. I was like, oh, cool, I'll just pipe this directly into the thing. But unfortunately, the Quadria isn't that one, the first one for both those two. And I actually don't know what it is in this one. But yeah, so that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do separate tanks for each of them, it looks like, which is a bit of a pain. But not the end of the world. I think I'm just kind of curious if I got all the things right here. I think it was 37 of these solid steel machine casings. I should have 13, yeah, because it's 14 long, and then I have the one thing up top. What is it? It's just down the middle, right? And the other question, I don't know. I'm hoping if we do it like this. Actually, no. I'm with Steve's Factory Manager, with inputting the items, I was kind of hoping I would maybe get away with some of them actually not needing Steve's Factory Manager, and I could just do the... Oh shoot, which side does it have to be on? I think it has to be on... I think that needs to be the controller, doesn't it? And that's the data hatch. That. Actually, can't remember. I'm thinking I'll have to take a look at the items, but if I use like filters and Ender IO conduits, I don't know if that would actually work. But if I'm narrowing it down to only a few components, it might actually work. I'll take a look at it right after I finish this. We're almost done. Oh, I forgot. One thing I did forget was the energy hatch. And it looks like it's going to have to be a UV energy hatch. All right, I'll get that going. I'm basically leaving that assembly line up until the very end because I need it to craft up the components. This will do like that, and then yeah, that'll be the energy hatch. All right, so that is that. Just need the energy hatch. Now let's take a look at the motor. So we have, so these are all, no, see, this is going to be the issue. Yeah, that's not going to work because we look at the two recipes, like this is fine. Those can all go in there. Actually, this uses a different cable. Wait a second, this might actually work because the magnetic samarium goes in the same spot. Okay, that's, no, Naquata alloy. You know what? This may actually work with, because they're all different components for each thing, and the only things that share are the samarium rods, but they go in the same one. Okay, I think I can actually do this. No, well, maybe. The issue will be the fluids. All right, I think I may be able to pump. How would I? Yeah, the issue is going to be the fluids, because I gotta change the fluids have to go with whatever motor is in there. So, yeah, I was hoping I could just pipe the stuff in with the Ender IO conduits. I may have to do a bit of testing here and kind of see. Question, I actually don't know. I'm just doing the ULV ones because the one slot, I feel like that is a little more organized so you don't get a whole bunch of conflicting recipes in there. I'm almost. I wonder if I even broke this up even more, I could. Then that's like so many more assembly. I was thinking if I did LEV motor. All right, let me think about this really quick and kind of see. Maybe I should do. So okay, here, and I'm changing my mind again here. Okay, if we do, so let's see, the motor, UV motor, the Quadria soldering alloy lubricant, and that is the Quadria soldering alloy and lubricant. So those two could actually go on the same assembly line, because I could just have this full, and then we could just pipe this in. All right. So that's something. We could share those. What about the pumps? Again, these two could share, but then this one is that and that. All right, let me do a bit of kind of thinking here, and I need the other energy hatch as well to get this finished up, and we'll come back. All right, I'm doing a quick test here because I actually don't know how this will work, and that is what happens if you have the correct fluids. That was weird. What happens if you have the correct fluids in the first two hatches, but you have something else in like the other ones? I actually I don't know. So I basically turn this off, and everything's in there for a motor, and I'm just gonna throw something in that to see what happens, because I actually don't know. I have a feeling it's probably not going to work, but I don't know. Let's see. All right, it actually does work. All right, that's good to know. So that means we can actually, all right, so that's giving me, I'm just trying to kind of think how I want to do this. So that is good. The other question I need to know, and that is what happens if you have multiple items in the hatches? Because I just did all these, but maybe if I do bigger hatches, like if I have like LUV motor stuff and ZPM motor stuff, what happens if they're both in the thing? I actually don't know that as well, so I'm gonna have to test that as well. And because that'll be a pretty big difference in how I set these up. I'm hoping, and I gotta make sure I get the right ones. I'm hoping what I can do is, if that does work, then I can just use Ender IO conduits with filters. But if it doesn't, and I have to kind of like regulate it, what items go in at once, then I would have to use Steve's factory manager. I'm just basically trying to do this as easy as possible. I can craft 50 millions of these, and if I don't have to use Steve's factory manager, I don't mind crafting like a whole bunch more. Like if I have 40 of these, I don't really care. I mean, that would be a bit of an issue with power, but all right. I guess, how am I going to test this? I can't test it in that, unfortunately, because, all right, actually, why don't we just we'll do this. Disable that, and then I will do this, another mortar. Those will get used. That would get used as well, I think. So let me get this stuff crafted up, and let's do a quick test and see if that works. And if we put both the stuff in here at once. So I'm actually going to do some input buses. I think I have a bunch. We don't. I mean, which size do we want? Might as well just do that. 5, and I can also shrink this down, I think. If I end up doing it this way. All right, so like 8 buses. All right, yeah, let me get this stuff crafted up and we will test this and see what happens with that. And I've got everything set up to test this, and I did think of a bit of an issue here. So this probably won't work, but let's go ahead and at least test this. And I'm just kind of curious what happens if we have like 2 recipes in here. And I don't know if this will work. So why don't we go ahead and throw the LUV motor and the LUV or electric motor for the ZPM. And let's see what happens. All right, it does work. All right. Interesting. Just realized that I may have just voided that. No, it didn't do the second one. Right? No, it didn't. Did it? That was weird, right? Like it. Oh, you know what? I wonder if it was because it was full. All right, one last time. Really quick, let me get the motor stuff and we'll come back. It's basically just testing to see how this works because, you know, I've never actually tested how it does. All right, let's try this again and see if it works. So that did the ZPM. But it doesn't look like it's going to do the second one. I wonder... I do. Oh wait. That was weird. I put enough for both of them in there, but it has no fluids. Let me take it. What is the... Oh, I don't have enough. Just kidding. All right, one last time. All right, I'm back, and I just threw a whole bunch of fluids in there. I got the wrong amount of fluids, unfortunately. So let's see. I have a feeling it's just going to work. I don't see why it wouldn't. Yeah, and there we go. There is the second one, and it'll put in there. I'm pretty sure if there is multiple things in this, it will void, like most Gregtech things. But all right, so that makes things a bit easier. Unfortunately, I realized as I was doing this, I don't think I can do... I'm not going to be able to do Ender IO conduits, because say I have two recipes for this motor and this motor, and they all go into a chest, they may it may pull the wrong items out. So I would need it to pull all these, but if it puts two different recipes in, it may pull like one of these, but then it may pull the wrong wires, and so it's going to get all clogged up. And the other thing would be, especially if I'm using bigger input buses, say for this, there is two exactly the same items, like it would put both of the wires in this one, and then this one wouldn't get any kind of thing. So I don't think Ender IO conduits are going to work, but I think I'm going to see if we can set this up so I can just export bus the fluids into it. And what I'm kind of thinking here is do all that tier components, because that would actually lower the amount that we actually need, because these are all similar. So like soldering alloy lubricant in the first two slots, and then we tested to see what happens if you put the other fluid past it, and that did work. So we know this works, so we can do this with those, and then these are all kind of similar. So, and then like the soldering alloy will work even though there's lubricant in the second one. So all these will work on this one machine. And I can actually probably shrink it down. I don't need... I could probably do that. Actually, what field gen? What does this do again? Is this... See, now this is also starting. All right. So maybe I'll do all these LEV stuff on one. Maybe I'll do it that way. Okay. And we also learned that we can do multiple recipes in there and it will run anyway. So we don't actually need to... I'm like kind of gating it, I guess what that would say. Like I am kind of... I was only having one recipe going. We don't actually need to do that. So that will actually lower the amount of stuff. I'm thinking... Yeah, I'm gonna have to kind of go through this, but I'm thinking like these we can get rid of, so we won't need these four, which would be awesome. And we might not even need the condition one. I could just do it maybe directly inputting, but this I'm gonna have to do a little bit of testing here and kind of see, because what I'm thinking is if we do... Like, can I just always input this stuff? See, that's going to be an issue, isn't it? Yeah, because this one changes. All the other ones kind of are similar places-ish. No, they're not really. All right, so I may have to do that. But if I don't have to do fluids, that lowers a whole lot of clicking and figuring stuff out with this, which is... Like, that would cut off a whole bunch. All right. But I'm going to have to do, this is going to take me quite a while to get this all sorted out, and I'll just continue kind of working on this. I think I will probably not be able to have another one of these Gregtech New Horizons episodes in right after. I'll probably have 2 episodes of the Project Ozone 3, just because we're really it's starting to get really difficult for me to do one of these every other day, just because a lot of this stuff is just taking a long time. So I'm thinking I'll probably have 2 episodes of Project Ozone 3, and we'll come back and we will take a look at my setup for this. I'll try to get another one out. I'm still trying to alternate, but I'm kind of just giving a bit of a heads up. I don't think I'm going to be able to get another Gregtech New Horizons in like another, would it be like 2 days from now, going live. But hopefully we will. But anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. So thanks for watching, and have a good one.